Hello, teachers and staff. My name is Ms. Pagan. I am a remote teacher. I'm also a virtual content specialist. In collaboration with the Division of Multilingual Learners, I'd like to present to you some supports that you may utilize in this lesson for your multilingual learners and your English language learners. In this lesson, Module 6, Topic C, Lesson 12, addition to 100 using place value, your focus question is, what strategy did you use to solve the addition problem and why? In this lesson, I have provided 3 videos, one of a Google Jamboard in English, one of a Google Jamboard instructional in Spanish, and this lesson, which shows, or this instructional video, which shows how to use a Google form and a Padlet as a support tool along with the Google Jamboards. First and foremost, you will be provided with this PowerPoint slide. In this PowerPoint slide, you will find access to 2 Google Jamboards, both in English and in Spanish, and a Google form that I have also created. Simply by clicking on the link, you will have access to your own copy, which you can utilize in your live classroom instruction or place asynchronously in your Google Classroom. Teachers, I'd like to draw your attention first to the English Google Jamboard. You will notice in this lesson that students are asked to select one strategy to solve or to add pairs of 2-digit numbers, and then to explain why. For that reason, I have provided sticky notes that students may select by clicking on the sticky note and decide what strategy that they use, and finally, why they selected the strategy. In the instructional video for students, I modeled 2 strategies, one using the base 10 blocks and decomposing numbers into tens and ones, using the base 10 blocks, counting on, adding, and also finally, in the equation section on the bottom, the support tool, I modeled how to add decomposing into tens and ones, first decomposing and adding tens and then ones using the equation tool. In the Spanish Google Jamboard, you'll find the same structure. You'll find the introduction section. In this video, I focused on adding tens and ones using the base 10 model and really focusing on answering the sticky note questions, how to explain what strategy I selected and how to explain why I selected that strategy in Spanish. You'll also find in this lesson that I've provided a Google form. In the suggestions or the guidelines for this lesson, you will notice that one of the suggestions for students with disabilities is to use a Google form to track and monitor progress. This is also very supportive for students that are multilingual learners. In this Google form, it is bilingual, the directions, and then afterwards, you have all the equations that are in the Explore section. So students can write their information by selecting the correct answer, and you will be able to see all the responses of your students afterwards. Finally, teachers, a support tool that I am suggesting for this lesson is the use of a Padlet. In this lesson, students are asked to select a strategy that they use to solve the addition problem and then explain why. In a remote setting, this might be challenging for each student to have an opportunity to show or explain why they selected that strategy. Also, for multilingual learners, this might be challenging. For that reason, I'm suggesting to use a Padlet. I'd like to show you just how you can use a Padlet or how to create a Padlet for this lesson. This is the Padlet.com dashboard for educators. Simply click on Make a Padlet. Once you click on Making a Padlet, you can select the format for your students. Because this is first grade, I've selected a timeline format, which is just a simple line that students can click on and press plus when adding on. You'll answer or select a title for your Padlet. This might be the introduction or the launch, which the day that you might select, and then have a description. So the description might be describe the strategy and why. The reason why I think this is such an amazing strategy or an amazing outlet or tool for English language learners is because when students start posting, they can post in various ways. Once they post or they place their response, they can have many options. First, they can take a picture. Click on the camera and they'll see the camera open up. They can showcase their student work that's on a piece of paper and then click plus or the camera button. It'll take a picture of them. They can have their student work right present and it'll save the picture onto your Padlet. Students that would like to explain their work, they can again click on the plus section, click on the 3 dots, and then select either to use the video or the audio to explain their work. Students can click on the video, click on the video camera. The strategy I chose was press pause, playback, and save. Once they save, you will be able to hear their video of the strategy they selected. Other students will also be able to hear the video of the strategy that they selected. The strategy I chose was students that are camera shy, they can click on the plus button, click on the 3 dots, and then click on the audio button where they can just record their audio. La estrategia que yo escogí fue. Again, once they click playback and save, there's an audio of their response. La estrategia que yo escogí fue. They can write also here. Students that would like to write their response can click on the plus button and simply write something, and their title can be their name. Strategy I chose. This is one way or one format where students can share in this lesson through a picture, through a video, through an audio, and through a short response, their strategy that they selected and why. I'd like to also show you that I began this introduction and launch question in a Padlet. You can select to add the picture first of the introduction page, or you might select to do a video or an audio and place it before the students respond. Simply click on the plus button, click on the upload button, and then upload into your computer first a screenshot, and then you may be able to place it directly into this Padlet. This is one support tool that you can use for your students to respond. In this lesson, I have provided several supports for multilingual learners. You will see in the suggestions or in the guidelines to provide instructional supports both for language. You are also suggested to use a Google form and a Padlet. For that reason, I have provided both Google Forms. I have provided both Google Jamboards in English and in Spanish, a Google form, and feel free to use the Google form, make a copy and place into your classroom. And finally, the Padlet, where in this video, you will see forms or steps to use the Padlet. Again, this is Ms. Pagan. These are suggestions or guidance for this lesson of Unit 6C, Day 17, Which strategy did you use to solve the addition problems and why? Please feel free to place comments or suggestions in our YouTube page so we can support you or best support you as you support your students.